Well, another episode of Moon Knight, except there was no Moon Knight, of course. With Khonshu being imprisoned in stone, neither Mark nor Steven have any Moon Knight powers. Now, in the comic book version, Mark Spector knows how to fight, and the only real power was that if he got seriously injured, Khonshu could heal him. All this other stuff. I mean, I don't know about him being impaled on several spears like he was in the last episode, that sort of thing. But of course, he does get shot several times at the end of this episode. Yet apparently is alive, or he's in purgatory. Probably just unconscious, and his personalities are battling. But anyway, for the most part, some references to the show people have described as being, sort of like Indiana Jones. And that's true. You're going into this ancient tomb. They get to the tomb where Amunet, or Ammit, I forget how you pronounce it, is imprisoned. And it turns out a mighty pharaoh was the avatar of Ammit back in way back when, you know. And can you guess who it is? Well, there's all these clues, and then there was Macedonian artifacts and writing, and it's the tomb of Alexander the Great. There was supposed to be a tomb in Egypt of Alexander, but no one's ever found it, and all this stuff. And so they found it. But you got to be able to change the stars around to be able to find it, so that's why you can't find it. But anyway, so that's who Amunet had possessed, or Ammit, whatever. So Alexander the Great didn't achieve any of those conquests. That was the goddess Ammit doing it. I guess, I don't know. But so she's been imprisoned in stone as well. But instead of putting her in the special chamber, which they show you, one of the gods takes Khonshu and puts him on this shelf where a bunch of other gods have been up to no good, apparently, and were left there. But for Ammit, they just left her in the throat of the corpse of Alexander the Great. So, yeah, well, whatever. But the rest of it is Layla is the real hero here. It is mostly Steven Grant and Mark, his voice, and they're fighting over Layla, who Layla apparently likes Steven better because he's more human and everything. But then Harrow shows up at a point where Layla and Steven get separated inside the tomb, and tells her that Mark was a part of the mercenary group that killed her father. Well, turns out, apparently, Mark did not kill her father, but he was there, and he was part of that group, and didn't save her father, but then, I don't know, sought her out and started a relationship with her. So she's all freaked out about that, because that is rather bizarre. But, yeah, so... But anyway, as they were exploring the tomb, there was some mysterious supernatural entity in there, which I guess was sort of like a guard of the tomb or something. And, well, it made short work of one of Harrow's, mercenaries, one of these tough dudes. And you can hear gunshots and stuff. And so Layla and Steven hid, and the creature brings him in and starts gutting him on this table to take his organs out and stick them in the jars and stuff. And he's a big dude, and yet they get discovered. That's when they split up. And Layla has to find another way to get to the tomb, and Steven's going another way, and all that. And he thought he had stopped the creature by throwing a bunch of stuff on top of it, but no, it broke free and was chasing after Layla, and she gets captured by this thing, but she kicks its ass and shoves a flare into its eye. And so, yeah, you see the problem, don't you? This big burly dude, he didn't last long, but skinny little Layla kicks the supernatural monster's ass. Yeah. Yeah. Earlier on, she has to save Steven from the cliffhanger from last week's episode because Harrow's guys are looking around and it's dark and stuff. But they got this big ass gun on the back of their Jeep and they shoot up her Jeep, but she hides behind it so they don't get her. And then she manages to toss another flare and explode their ammunition. So there you go. That worked. Anyway, so they find Ammit, his little statue, and she's hiding, and then Harrow shoots Mark. Mark takes over at the end there and hacks up a couple of Harrow's guys, but so then Harrow decides, that's not good, so he pulls a pistol out and shoots him. He wanted to give him a chance to decide not to be a part of Khonshu's mission anymore, see, so that's why he paused. Actually, Ethan Hawke as the villain it's not the greatest performance in the world, but he's probably one of the better characters. And Oscar Isaac's a good actor. I think he's wasted on this, and it's too bad. I think he could have delivered a pretty good Moon Knight if he had ever been given the chance to play Moon Knight, which he didn't. So anyway, he shoots him a couple of times, and he falls back, and there's this water there, and he sinks into it, and everything goes black, and then suddenly he's in a sanitarium, and there's all these people there, and Layla's there too, but she's one of the crazy patients, and his doctor is Harrow. And he breaks free, and he's going down the hallway looking for a means to escape. And he comes across this Egyptian sarcophagus, and it's banging and stuff, and he opens the door, and it's Steven and Mark together. It's like, how is this possible? Because it's in their mind, so they don't suddenly have their own bodies or anything. And as they're going, I guess the only mention again of this third personality was that there was another sarcophagus banging around, but they just ignored it. And we're looking for a means to escape, and then this hippopotamus Egyptian god shows up and goes, "Hi," and they and that's the end. It was hilarious. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, they just want to be silly because they don't know what else to do, and that's it. So it's a bit of a mess, really. I don't know. So that's about it. Some of this could have been better, but it's not, because they keep wanting to be cheesy and silly. So anything that's scary or anything that a cool fight or what have you is undercut by this nonsense. And that's about it. The sanitarium, the asylum business that he's in is somewhat referential to, like the recent Moon Knight takes on him, where you're never quite sure if he's really there or not, and that type of thing. So that's kind of what they're doing. I seriously doubt that they're going to suddenly say this was all a dream. Oh, and they put it in that he's watching some old crappy B movie called The Adventures of Dr. Stephen Grant, like that was a Indiana Jones type series, and that Stephen Grant was just this a fantasy name, and that's where he got it from and all that. And maybe he did, but he's not just dreaming about this mission in the sanitarium. And you know this because the sarcophagus shows up. And then the Egyptian god will say, well, he could be dreaming that too within the halls of the hospital or wherever he is. Yeah, no. So anyway, he was shot twice, and I guess somehow he survived. And perhaps the waters have healing properties, Or someone released Khonshu and you didn't see it. It was off camera. Yeah. So anyway, it just wasn't very good. Yet, despite all of that, this is still probably the best show that D+ has produced for Marvel. Because that's how bad they've been. Yeah. I guess it's possible Hawkeye could edge out Moon Knight, when Hawkeye I thought was not very good either. But neither one are as bad as some of the earlier shows, which are just absolutely rotten. WandaVision only because it was sabotaged to be made rotten. You know, Loki was stupid, and Falcon and Winter Soldier remains the worst because of the horrible ethic that it presented, and making your superhero sympathetic with a mass murderer. So anyway, there you are, Moon Knight in the Tomb.